Before we get into the video, I just want to clarify that this isn't meant to stoke the flames of elitism, nor am I dismissing anyone's concern about the gacha system. Instead, think of this video as a way to clarify certain parts of the system, since I've seen a lot of videos on this topic that are either misinformed or missing context. To start off, we have 3 different banners: New Horizons headhunting, Basic headhunting, and Chartered headhunting. I'll briefly go over each one, but the main focus of this video will be on the Chartered headhunting banner. The New Horizons headhunting banner is a pretty cool idea on paper. As for when we'll actually need to spend currency on it, we still don't know, but based on Griffline's description, the main source of pulls for this banner comes from progressing through the main missions, meaning that character missions, daily missions, and side quests don't count. And I can understand why. Daily missions could easily be abused in this context. However, a few important questions still remains. Does this banner end once you pull a 6-star character? Is it basically a beginner banner? Or does it reappear every patch since it mentioned missions? We don't have the answers yet, so we'll just have to wait until the beta is live to find out. Stay tuned for updates on this one. Basic headhunting works just like in most other gacha games. It has a pool of characters, or launch characters as I like to call them, and you can choose to spend your headhunting permits or Ouroboros on it. The hard pity here is set at 80 pulls. Now, the elephant in the room, the chartered headhunting. Let's start with the base rule of the system. Every 80 pulls guarantees a 6-star operator, which is a 50-50 chance between the rate up and an off rate character. At 120 pulls, you're guaranteed to get the rate up character. Now, I know what you're thinking. If this is based on facts, why assume that the 80th pull is a 50-50? That's because this system hasn't changed much since the previous beta, except for one new change I'll talk about later. That's what I'm basing this information on. Honestly, if they just keep the 80 pull 50-50 and the 120 pull guarantee until launch, I'd have no objections. It's fair and reasonable. Now let's talk about what's been spreading around, how characters are handled after the rate up ends. According to what was shown, after a character's rate up is over, the operator remains in the pool for 2 additional banners alongside the launch characters. It's similar to the OG Arknights approach but with a limited retention window, mainly 2 cycles. For example, look at Leviathan. She's the rate up character for the first banner, and then in the second and third banners, she's still in the pool, but the fourth, she's gone. The same happens with Yvonne. After her rate up ends, she stays in the next 2 banners before being cycled out. My biggest issue is that I've seen a few creators talking about the system as if it's already finalized and set in stone, but if you paid attention, Lowlight specifically mentioned that this system will not be implemented in the upcoming beta.
不过呢，本次全面测试并不涉及这种情况。后续我们也会在游戏内的公告进行详细说明。
Now, why is that? This is my first and only real assumption on this video, but to me, it feels like they're putting this concept out there as a testing ground for feedback. They're basically saying, here's the idea, tell us what you think. It's a way to gather community reactions before deciding if it is the right direction. Think of it as Griffline laying the system on the table for discussion so they can tweak it and find a middle ground between what's profitable and what's fair. But here's the part where many people overlook. The cost of maintaining a game like Endfield is enormous. Now, I know you're probably sick of this discussion, but it's trust me, it's the reality of it. We're talking about a title that's aiming for a AAA level fidelity, high quality 3D models, environment design, complex animation systems, and detailed world design that all run seamlessly across multiple platforms. Each of those elements require massive ongoing resources, from servers and optimization to developer salaries and content pipelines. So when Griffline explores a system like this, it's not necessarily about greed or profit for profit's sake. It's about finding a sustainable way to fund that level of visual and technical ambition without compromising quality. But here's the reality. The higher the fidelity, the higher the cost. That's just it. That's the baseline of it. And without a steady stream of revenue, that fidelity can't simply be sustained in the long term. That doesn't make gacha inherently good, but it explains why a developer might feel cornered into relying on it. It's a trade-off really, one that decides whether a live service game survives or fades out early. That's why I believe the system isn't final yet. They're testing how players respond, not to exploit that reaction, but to understand the limits of what's acceptable and what isn't. It's a balancing act between ambitions and accessibility, and honestly, I respect that they're willing to show us their cards before locking it in. For my final thoughts, do I think this is a good system? No, absolutely not. Like many other OG Arknights players, I've always hoped that the original Arknights gacha system would eventually make its way onto Endfield, something that removes the constant sense of FOMO from players. However, Now that we understand why they might be testing this approach, it's easier to see where they're coming from. It's not about ignoring player feedback, it's about trying to keep the project alive while aiming for this level of quality they're promising. That said, just because I understand it doesn't mean I agree with it. I'll still continue voicing my concerns and pushing for a system that feels fair and player-friendly. Ideally, I want them to just add the rate-up operators to the permanent pool once their banner ends, simple, transparent, and satisfying for everyone. Now, am I basing this off blind faith? No, if anything, the Beta Test 2 livestream proved that they are willing to find a middle grounds and listen to player feedback. That livestream is the living proof of it and it's on their channel. Go watch it. At the end of the day, I genuinely believe Griffline wants to make Endfield work. It's just a matter of whether they can strike the right balance between sustaining their vision and respecting the players who believe in it. I hope this somewhat cleared up some information going around, and I'm not stopping you from voicing your concerns regarding the gacha system either. It's a huge step back and they need to reconsider it based on how the player base reacted to it. But that's all for the video. I'll see you in the next one.